All right. So my name is Chisom Udeze. I am Nigerian. I like to think of myself as a global citizen. I have lived in um, 8 countries now, traveled to quite a few others, many others. I like to explore and learn. I feel that travel has been one of my best and most humbling teacher. I am a daughter, a sister, a pretty great mom. I'm a student. I'm an entrepreneur, and I'm an economist, and also a founder of 2 companies that are very close to my heart. I love to do things that I think I cannot. I love to do things that people can tell me that I can't. When I was younger, someone told me that red lipstick was not my color. Well, guess what color lipstick I've been wearing ever since. All right. So today I would like to talk to you about daring. And in order to do this honestly, I have to do it from my perspective. So, dare number one, I try to remind myself that it is important to try, even in the face of possible failure. Because if I don't try, I never know. And I can't live with that. I rather know that I tried and failed than not know. Dare to ask questions. I think this is a really important one. And when we ask questions, and yes, even uncomfortable, possibly politically incorrect questions, it beats making assumptions by a landslide. So, what does an uncomfortable question sound like? How do you identify? What are your pronouns? Is it okay to call you Black? Yesterday, I was speaking to a remarkable scholar who would join one of the panel discussion we're putting forward on disability inclusion. And when he got on the call, I heard him, well, he also is blind. And I heard him describe himself. I have this hair, I'm wearing this shirt, and I look like this. And I had not thought that it was necessary for me to introduce myself and say how I looked. And I did ask him, is it valuable to describe how I look and what I'm wearing every time I meet you? And he said, of course. So moving forward, every time I meet a blind person, I will describe myself in as much detail as I can. So dare to ask. I think that sometimes we want to be polite and we don't want to offend. But we end up by not speaking up, by not asking, with our silence causing hurt and causing harm. Whereas it'd be easy to just ask and look stupid. Dare to create. One of the greatest discovery a man makes, one of his great surprises is to find he can do what he was afraid he couldn't do. For me, creation right now, it's a lot of things, and I don't have enough time to get into it. But one of the things that centers it all for me is it is incredibly important to me that I create a world that deserves my daughter. And that means I need to create space. I need to take space. I need to break down walls. I need to speak truth to power. I need to do the things that scare me the most because she deserves better than this world currently is. And if I have to build it, by God, I will. Dare to be honest. It is scary, to be honest. So, what does that look like for me? I struggle with anxiety and depression. And during bouts of anxiety and depression, I succeed. I am highly functional, so people don't see me. They don't see that I struggle. And sometimes I don't ask for help. When I was 13, I was almost raped. I narrowly escaped the experience, but for a long time, I believed that I was. I still live with that trauma. I only recently let go of the shame and self-blame. I am 34. I am a pretty remarkable mother. I'm a pretty awesome mom. I'm trying to be a more present and engaged daughter, sister, and friend. I have built 3 successful companies and have created jobs for people, and I'm very proud of that. Dare to be vulnerable. It's one of the most disarming things. It's scary because you're not sure how the world will receive you. My mom always said to me growing up, do not show people your fear because they'll feast on it. And now I kind of beg to differ. I need to speak. I need to show how I feel because I think that somebody's life depends on it. And that somebody's life is my life. Dare to continuously learn. Be curious, be humble, be open to changing your mind. Change your mind often. Learn, unlearn, relearn, repeat. Dare to face your fear. It's important. You gain strength, courage, and confidence by every experience in which you really stop to look fear in the face. You're able to say to yourself, I have lived through this horror. I can take the next thing that comes along. You must do the thing you think you cannot do. Dare to be wrong. How many of us, don't say something because we don't want to look silly or we don't want to be wrong? You don't take a risk because you don't want to make a mistake. You don't speak up because you don't want to offend. Dare to be wrong, because if you don't dare, you will never know what it feels like to be right or to learn. Dare to take space. As a person, as a Black woman, as an African, I find myself in a world that was not really created for me. And for a while, I hid behind the shadows. And to a point, I still do that now. But these days, I'm trying to remind myself that it is important to take space. It is important to create those spaces as well. It's important to show myself so my daughter grows up not having just seen one person that looks like her. And it's important for me to raise other women, Black, white, people of color, indigenous people with me. Because my survival and my daughter's existence depends on it. I still find it uncomfortable. One of the hardest things I get to do these days, because I'm involved in, quite a lot of panels and talks and this and that, is when people ask me to write my bio. I am just like, oh my gosh, what should I say? Should I say these things about myself? Yeah, take space. I'm still working on it. Dare to lead and follow. I think oftentimes we think leaders are automatically leaders because they hold a managerial position or they're in a position of authority. Leadership is earned. You don't need to have manager this on behind your name to be a leader. You can lead in the way you live your life. You can lead in your communities. You can lead in your home. Dare to lead. And I think that a part of leadership is in the ability, the humility to follow, because you understand that you do not always have it right. And there is so much you can learn from every single person that you meet. and you cannot take that for granted. Dare to speak truth to power. What is that? What does that mean to me? I live in a world where my economic standing, my looks, my personal disposition makes me white acceptable and gets me into rooms where many don't think I belong. I come from a country where it is still illegal to be yourself, to be gay or lesbian. I live in a country where being an immigrant or from an ethnic minority group is synonymous with low skills. Speak truth to power. Dare to have courage. The brave man is not he who does not feel afraid, but he who conquers that fear. You know, I've been thinking a lot because oftentimes when people ask me, what does it take to lead? You know, I tend to say, you know, you have to be fearless. And I've been rethinking that. And I still will say, be fearless. But, you know, I do a lot of things that terrify me. Every single day, every decision I make with work, with my staff, I am terrified. I don't want to fail them. I don't want to fail myself. And I am afraid of quite a lot of things, but I face them every day. I'm terrified of heights, so I went bungee jumping and skydiving because why not? So have courage, and courage is not the absence of fear, it's the triumph over it. Someone said that, and I like that. Dare to surround yourself with people who truly love, see, and hear you. You know, I've had periods in my life where I just wanted to be seen and loved and acknowledged and valued, and by people who were not deserving of my time. I have put myself in spaces that were harmful to me. And I have perhaps also caused harm to people. But these days I am choosing to dare to create the world that I envision for myself. And that is a world where it's okay to be brutally honest. It's okay to be fiercely loved. It's okay to be seen. It's okay to be accepted exactly as I am. Dare to let go of things, people, dreams that no longer serve you. Don't hold on to that friendship that takes so much away from you. Don't say yes to things that you know in your heart of hearts you do not want to say yes to. Think about it like, at least I like to think about it like Maria Kondo in my life and everything in it. Let go. It's hard. And it's something I still struggle with. But in the past couple of months, I've been actively and intentionally letting go. And it's not a conversation I need to have with the people or the things. I just decide for myself. It does not mean I will not say hello to them when I see them in public. It just means that they will no longer take space in my life or in my heart. Nonetheless, I wish them well. Dare to act. Inaction breeds doubt and fear. Action breeds confidence and courage. If you want to conquer fear, do not sit at home and think about it. Go out and get busy. If you want something, act. If you want to be connected to someone, reach out. What is the worst thing they can say? No. Say, no, you're crazy, don't want to talk to you. Does the world end? Absolutely not. But if you act, they might say yes. If you act, you might get what you want. You have nothing to lose. Act. Dare to say no. A couple of years ago, I started a really fantastic relationship with the word no. You know, like I'm invited to this party and no, my cat does not have to die. Something does not have to come up. I'm just going to say, no, I don't feel like coming. And I'm going to be that honest. And I have been. I decided years ago, and I have been that. I don't feel up to it. I don't want to go to lunch with you. But ask me next time, right? And it has been the most liberating thing of my existence. Just to be able to honestly say no to people, to my mother, to my sisters, to my husband, to myself, to my clients. No, it's a liberating word. Everyone who ever changed their life or laid claim to their own destiny began by surrendering to two words: not this. It's okay if you don't know yet what happens next. You just have to be honest about what your deepest truth is telling you, which is not this. If that's what your body, heart, and soul are trying to tell you, listen. Dare to be you, authentically, unapologetically. Come as you are or as you would like to be. Break into a song because you think of it right now. Now, as you are or as you want to be. Are you ready? Are you ready? Come now. Tired, broken, scared, or just in need. Are you ready? Come as you are. Beautiful, broken, tired, scared, shrunk, needy. Just come. And people who don't accept that, people who don't see that, have no place in your life. And you need to believe that, because people only treat you how you let them. And you don't have to change. You don't have to show up any differently than you are. You are glorious as you are. Release the shame. Release the shame of conformity, of expectations, of failure, of being different, of whatever it is, and everything that refuses to acknowledge the validity of your existence. Write your shame, write it down, write your fears, the socially constructed expectation of how you must exist and thrive in this world. Write it on a piece of paper, bask in that shame, acknowledge it, and set it on fire. Dare to love yourself radically, intensely, playfully, casually, compassionately, gracefully, painfully. Dare to shine. Don't ask anyone's permission to shine. I was recently on a talk and a lady, was asking about, she tends to hear that she intimidates people. And she said, how do I not make people feel intimidated? You are not intimidating. People are intimidated. That has nothing to do with you. Those are two completely different things. You are not taking up too much space. They are just used to people playing small. Your inner light is not too bright. People who have a problem with it are used to dimming theirs. Do not be less so people can feel better about themselves. Own your stuff. Someone's life and future depends on it. It could be yours. It could be people you don't even know are watching you. Own who you are, because when you do so, you create space. You pave the way. If you don't know this, I'm going to read it out. Our deepest fear is not that we're inadequate. Our deepest fear is that we are powerful beyond measure. It is our light, not our darkness, that most frightens us. We ask ourselves, who am I to be brilliant, gorgeous, talented, fabulous? Actually, who are you not to be? Your playing small does not serve the world. There is nothing enlightening about shrinking so other people won't feel insecure around you. We're all meant to shine as children do. It's not just in some of us, it's in everyone. And as we let our own light shine, we unconsciously give other people permission to do the same. As we're liberated from our own fear, our presence automatically liberate others. Your playing small does not serve the world and it does not serve you. And lastly, dare to dare. Decide you want something more than you are afraid of it and go for it. Thank you for your time.